Hey guys, new video here. New player video, kind of, about like how far can you juice your maps and still make money. A lot of times people starting out and even buying a few Awakened Sextons, buying a couple Rusted Scarabs can be kind of daunting because like if you only have like 30C in your tab, then it's like, ooh, what if I don't make it back? There's other video guides out there for 100% delirious mapping and fractured mapping. You can check out those content creators; they're really good. We already know, like from those videos and the data, that 100% deli is really, really good, right? Because you make a lot of money, all those crazy drops, you spend 10 minutes leaving the map. The reason I don't like 100% deli, and I get asked a lot on stream, like, why don't you do like 80%? Why not like 100%? And here, actually, I mispriced a doctor here. That kind of dropped in this map set. And now the API is really behind, and now I'm getting whispers for like the last hour. It feels bad. So what I decided to do is like I was thinking about, okay, so most people probably won't like to do 100% deli because looting for 10 minutes is gonna hurt your hands. It's gonna be super annoying, and for a lot of builds, it does limit the build pool quite a bit. So what I initially did is I was using a lot of polished scarabs and some rusted scarabs. For example, like Harvey, Breach, Parandis, Divination, etc. And we got a lot of doctors, right? We got a lot of money, a lot of doctors. My current stats for that series of scarab usage, right? Kind of like the what I call mid-range mapping. It's not really ouch and go, throwing in whatever, and with like sack frags or whatever, and just like simple sections. And it's not really 100% fractured deli. It's somewhere in between, which I find a really good balance because you're like killing monsters like 70-80% of the time, and then looting like 20 to 30% of the time. So with that, I was getting one doctor every like 27 maps. I dropped 10 doctors over like 270 maps. Pretty darn good there. And so what I want to test out is like, okay, well, what about the next step? Will that be enjoyable? And so the next step up was like converting the polished scarabs and any rusted scarabs that you might be using into gilded scarabs, because the trading time's a little bit longer. It's hard to get them, even though there's plenty of them in the market. And then also there is the making sure to use like the best overall prophecy, making sure that you're using Awakened Sextons, of course, and juicing a map with like one or two delirium orbs. In this case, juicing it with two because I'm moving upwards from the very minimal 20% and rusted scarabs. So what did we run? I ran 44 maps today. On stream I got to like I did like 35, 40, and I finished the rest right afterwards. So you can see that it was 44 because I had two column sets of these scarabs, and then I wanted to because I only had 44 maps, I can only run 44 of them. So these are left over 4. So I ran winged Parandis scarab. These I was able to buy in bulk for about 10C each. The reason I run the winged scarab, and this is not an optimal strategy to keep in mind when you're thinking about the profits, is winged scarab is really good for Lexi Joys because Parandis rerolls the thing 5 times. And it has some pretty good watchstones and some drops to go along with it. I run Gilded Divination now, up from Polished, right? I should say what I was running before. So before, when you were making plenty of money, like the return was insane. I was using Polished Parandis, I was using Polished Divination, I was using Polished Breach, and then for the last one, it was kind of like up in the air. I sometimes would use Polished or Gilded Metamorph. Sometimes even Rusted Metamorph if I ran out. Sometimes I'd use my Rusted Harpies. Sometimes I'd use my Rusted Elders. And luckily, like the Elder and Shaper ones, doesn't matter what level you go to. Like the Rusted is exactly the same as the Gilded. And sometimes I just run whatever I had because I wanted to be frugal. So that was the scares from the last test. So now, we have Winged, we have Gilded, and we have Polished. Now, why didn't I run the bigger ones on here? It was just because like the supply became a lot more expensive for not that much gain. Lots of the splinters, for example, if I were to get a Eternal Army, a Karui Army, right? So these are Lion Eye and what's their name? Not Viper Nazi, but Namahu, Hyri Namahu, right? So if I got them and they die and they drop the splinters, I don't even show the splinters on my loot filter. All I'd be doing is like waiting around longer, and it'd make the like map laggy. So that's why I didn't go with the Gilded. And so as you can see, this is a step up. The overall cost in the maps, if we count the prophecies and all the scarabs and stuff for those maps, was about 19 exalts, right? And that's 19 exalts calculated on 48 maps, not 44. And then, if we add in, the two delis per. We're looking at, let's say you can buy them like the cheapest, most garbage deli orbs for like, well, I was buying whatever I could get for 10C in bulk. I just filtered for 5 or more on the trade site because nobody wants to trade for one deli orb at a time. Okay, that's a nightmare. So I just paid a little bit more, 10C each for like, the trash ones. And sometimes you could get the good ones as well. People would just throw in some random ones if you asked for 10C as well. Okay. So if we count that, that's about 800C in the, so about an extra 8 exalts in the delirium orbs to get every map to about 40% delirium. Okay, so this adds a bunch of monsters, more splinters. I definitely noticed that, like, I was getting around 30 something splinters for the polished set. And then for this gilded set, I realized I was getting a lot more. I was getting like 50, 60 something sometimes. And so you do get more simulacrums. Now, if we look at this program here, this program is called Excellence Next. Excellence Next. Okay, and it basically tracks it. It pulls data from the from PoE Ninja, and then it tells you in here, very helpful for new players for like price checking certain commodities, how much your stuff is worth. So the overall thing is, like, if we add the 8 exalts to the 19 exalts, and I was rounding up, by the way, so there's a little bit conservative numbers. So we need to make back 27 pure exalts, right? Because most of these things were bought in C, so we need pure currency. 27 pure exalts to make our money back. Okay. This whole test took about, on stream I was doing some other stuff like bossing runs and like all this, but overall it was like a period of like 10 hours. You can probably do this if you really like put your head down in half that time. And what you're looking at is, let's take a look at the exalts. So in this test, when we talk about outliers, I noticed that a lot of people like to not include outliers such as exalts and doctors and stuff like that. But when you're juicing maps past a certain extent, you really can't count these out because they are going to drop. You're going to get a bunch of them. You're going to get sources that are easy sales for over an exalt or close to an exalt, or they pull together to be more than an exalt. And outliers are just the norm now, right? Because everyone who juices map knows that you are going to get hella exalts, right? And for my doctor count, I dropped 10 over 270, right? You could say that's lucky, but in this map, when I was like, I didn't drop any. I dropped one at the end, so I got one doctor with more juice on the what's it called, on the more gilded versions, right? So that's kind of weird that my average of doctors went down with this much juice. I really can't explain it besides bad luck, but I did drop one, right? And that is a cost right now of 11 and a half exalts. So the reason I'll keep that in is because looking at past results with less juice overall, over 270 maps, it is consistent. So now you can take these out if you want, but I'm telling you that, like, if you juice your maps in this way, like the little mid-range juice, you will find these kind of items. I didn't drop like a mirror or anything super crazy, so so nothing to take out there. So pure exalts, 14 pure exalts. Where do these exalts come from? Well, a few of them came from Perandus, just selling it for the price of about 10C in coins. And then some of them came from sales, like a couple of them came from a bulk sale where, like, some things are like 30C, 20C, but if you sell more of them to the same person, they'll be like, hey, do we just take exalts? And then you'll say, yeah, sure, and they'll just pay in exalts instead of C. And then in terms of pure drops, I believe that there was about like 8 or 9 pure exalt drops out of these maps, so pretty good stuff there. So we've made back the 14 exalts there. A number of C that I picked up, the number of C given in all of these maps is around 900. I say around 900 because sometimes when you're giving change or you're putting things in the map device, even though I was sure to take out the C for the beyond rolls, right, I calculate that into the price of these maps. It's about 900, so about 9 exalts pure just from the challenge orders, and we're looking okay here. So 9 exalts plus the 14, that's 23 exalts. We need to make back about math. We need to make back about 4 more exalts, right? So let's take a look at these maps. Now, if you watched my previous video, you'll know, or if you've just been doing this yourself, selling maps like Park, Atoll, Summit, things like that, a cemetery, they sell a lot. Okay, you can sell a lot of these all at once. So these are actual real C that you can sell these for. So Park maps about 7 or 8 C seems fair. Atoll maps 6 or 7 C sounds pretty fair as well. And so just from the map drops, you can see that we're getting 5, there's about 8 exalts in maps just from these 2 maps. And after every stream, I have been able to sell off every single map in bulk, usually no more than 1 or 2 trades. Okay, there's no more than 1 or 2 trades to get rid of sometimes 30, 40, 50 of these maps that you have laying around in your stashes at the end of the the mapping session for the day. So very, very liquid there. So you add that exalts, and just by these, we have covered our costs. Okay, so if you count the doctor, that is that becomes an extra, 11 point something exalts. You can look at things like the cheater. Now, the cheater is an interesting because like everyone right now with our atlases, we're trying to focus on some kind of like fun and rewarding atlas strat. Now, I don't know if mine's the most rewarding. I do know it's a lot of fun though. And so what I do is I run 4 watchstones with Cataloger's Parandus, so that I have 250% increased chance to find a Parandus catalog that has div cards in it, and a native drop of that is the cheater. So far in all my runs, I've dropped about 8 or 9 cheaters, which they sell for at least 3 exalts. In bulk, they sell for more, and that is, so this cheater is about 3 exalts, as you can see right there. So pretty good stuff there, and it is a although catalogs are extremely rare, they are consistent enough in their cheater drops that I found that they are worth including, and they are definitely not an outlier, right? I turned in 1 set. Got some garbage, feels bad, but the other ones I have been selling after that experience. And MB Extreme has a video on his turn-ins of cheaters, and you can kind of see from his results that the cheater's not worth turning. You should definitely sell that. So I'll sell this and then get the realized returns of another 3 exalts. Now, orbs of alteration, I picked up a whole bunch of these, almost 600 of them, and that is about 1.5 exalts there. And then canyon maps, you can sell these if you want, or you can run them. They're about 60 each. And some random currencies down here on the first page. So if we look at the if we go ahead and take a look right here at some of my tabs, right? I'll just show you the tabs here. I have this tab, I have this tab, I have this tab, and I'm just gonna type in currency. This is gonna be a nightmare to sort later. I'm gonna type in currency. You can see all the other stuff that you have, right? So if you want to sell like things like fusings, you want to sell things like catalysts, fossils, all this stuff, you definitely can. There's like some maps in here that are like unique that you can sell. Some uniques definitely sell. Primer Zonder definitely sells. You can sell some of the scarabs that you don't use. We did get some synthesized. We got like a synthesized map there, got a synthesized map there. Those will be about 100C. Uniques like this will sell for like 10C, 11C, and you can kind of just go look at a glance at this page, and there's like div cards that are worthwhile in there. And you can kind of tell that the answer is yes. Upping your juice is still profitable. So at any level of juice, whether you're just starting out from an ouch and go standpoint, right? Going all the way up to fracture maps, because we know that both ends of the spectrum are fine, right? Ouch and go is fine, obviously, even though it kind of sucks at this point in the league. And then like full fracture delirium is very, very profitable, although super annoying to run and not very fun in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. I can tell you that when you look at people's returns from fractured maps, you might feel pretty good, right? But there's a reason people don't do it for that long, because it is annoying. And so don't feel like you're missing out if you're not doing fractured maps, okay? So since we know that these 2 extremes, remember what the point of this video is to try to show that you can do anything in between these 2 extremes, juicing up at any level, whether you want to spend more on your sextants, more on reloading your sextants to better rolls, more on your watchstones, more on your scaras, more on the map you're doing. No matter what you do in between the minimum and the maximum, you will not lose money. Okay, that's very, very important, because then you can play around with any kind of scarabs and any kind of map that you have fun on, and that's really all that matters. Other things to note in here is that I do believe, however, now my opinion is that it did feel more fun just doing 20%, so like 1 delirium orb on there, because it gives you like the same amount of monsters. It's just like monsters that form into the beyond that drops all the good loots. So that it felt more fun, it felt more smooth, way better performance on 20%. And then also with these scares being polished, and so those also felt like more returns, because like the trading was really annoying sometimes for these scarabs. Like you can't get as many gilded as you can polished because of the way that scarab maps drop. Like if someone's running like 100% deli scarab or whatever, or they're just like farming like that Chance node with like the possessed things and just using it with the sextant, all the scarabs that are coming to the market are usually not gilded. And we're not talking about outliers where people have imprinted like hundreds of the winged scarabs, right? We're just talking about like the regular range of scarabs. So I felt that it was better overall. I liked my returns and my fun. My fun was better in the mid-range of polished scarabs. So I will be going back to polished scarabs because it's like nobody likes trading, right? And having to do even a few extra trades to get like the stuff set up was like, it was really, really annoying. So that's kind of my video there, just to tell all the new players that, you know, anything you want to do with your maps, it's good to go. You're not going to lose money. I know it's kind of scary when you're like, ooh, maybe I want to jump up to this. Is that worth? And it's all worth at different levels. I personally think that the once again, to reiterate, the best fit for most players, I believe, will be somewhere around the rusted polished scarab range, depending on what you can get in bulk, to minimize your trades and increase your play time. And you cannot lose money anyway on any map. So just play. Just do whatever the hell you want on the Atlas, and you're gonna have a great time. So that's my video. If you have any questions about that, you can ask me on my stream, twitch.tv/keto_. I usually stream in the evenings. And thanks for watching my video. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.